How's it going, everyone? I am your local Dice Wolf, and welcome back to Buried. We're going into chapter 2 here, so this should be interesting. Now, I couldn't start on... When I tried to record and hold off before going, I wanted to leave off on the choices screen, but it actually continued automatically, and while I was making sure that everything was okay, obviously the text continues without me, but I didn't pull Tony's body out from the wreckage. I told Dennis the truth about Tony. I went away from the sound, and I believed Dennis's word. But last time we ended up in this weird train station-ish area where, well, I actually don't know what we're doing here. We just kind of ended up down here after falling through a hole because Dennis decided to check out an explosion site. We're standing on the thin platform of what looks like a very fancy subway. The rails look well used, but not old. There are small overhead lights that are very dim, as if they are running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes me feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, the tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzying. There's a small light further ahead, and then a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's curved surface. Another platform, maybe. Why are we in a subway tunnel? Dennis doesn't answer. The reality of what we're seeing is sinking in. Whatever this place is, it is buried way underground. This seems impossible to me, making anything that's on the other side of this tunnel dangerous as far as I'm concerned. But of course, we are going to go on. Human curiosity is going to see to that. Also, the ringing noise is louder down here. It's much more solid now, and there's some other sound. Something like the faint hum of machinery. What's your take on this, boss? You think we're safe here? Not at all. This is what I think to myself. But I don't want to let Dennis see that I'm rattled. While he seems to be limping along much better than when we first stumbled into this place, he's still in rough shape. I'm leading him here. I should probably make him feel confident in that. But, I mean, I'm just reassuring him, right? You reassured him. We're too far in to go back. Besides, if we get caught for trespassing, I'm pretty sure we'd slide by. We're good. You're in pain. We've got to find the rest of our crew. They could still be here somewhere. Dennis nods and looks reassured, albeit weak and miserable. From the looks of it, we can either go left or go right. The left is slightly lit, the right not so much. This makes me uneasy because I get the sense that one wrong turn in a place like this could have us wandering for hours. Suddenly I jerk my head to the right as I hear the unmistakable sound of someone walking. Did you hear something? I ask Dennis, my eyes straining to see anything in the darkness. Not sure. Maybe. It kind of sounded like footsteps. I wait a moment, but the sound doesn't come again. So those are our options. To the left are flickering lights, indicating that we'll at least be able to see. There's also the hum of machinery, a sign of life. To the right is just darkness. We also heard footsteps in that direction. Okay, here's the thing. We don't know anything about this place, like, at all. And the reality for me is simply that I don't think we should follow random footsteps into the darkness. I'd rather stay in a lit area where at least we know what's coming at us. You decided to go into the lights. But seems smart to stay in the light. Left it is. Let me see. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that I still had it. I didn't hear the noise. Maybe my volume's too low. Let me raise it a little bit, but in the video it probably sounds fine. As we head left, the lights ahead are like a beacon in the dark, luring us forward. Someone lit the lights on for us, Dennis says, trying to be funny but creeping me out instead. I wonder if that's a good or a bad thing. As we near the lights, I hear the hum of machinery grow louder. Doesn't sound like any machine I've heard before. As the light increases, I use it to take an inventory of Dennis and his condition. While the bleeding seems to have stopped, the amount that is soaked into his pants and shirt is beyond alarming. How much further can you walk? Can you keep going? Yes, let's walk into the deep tunnel that has no business being here. Now stepping into the light, I notice that the sound of machinery is coming from an area on the left side that's protected by a guardrail. Wisps of bright blue light dance on the walls as they leak out from whatever's below. I also noticed a posted sign that says danger, severe radiation poisoning threat. Okay, why would I? No thanks, I'm gonna move on. I don't want to play with radiation. Dennis, I don't think we should get near whatever's down there. He studies the blue light a bit longer and then nods. He's hurting enough as is. I don't think we need to add radiation poisoning to his list of ailments. Or mine, for that matter. We step away and take off down the tunnel again. As I start walking, I notice another structure coming into view up ahead. As we head further into the tunnel, we reach another platform. There's light coming from the platform, but the overhead lights, they are dim red emergency lights. I start to wonder if the explosion at the logging site caused a power outage in this place. Whatever this place is. The ringing noise that I originally thought was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think it's some sort of alarm. When we come to a large open area ahead in the tunnel, it further resembles a subway station. As much as I try to ignore the reality, it is undeniable. We have stumbled into some sort of high-tech transportation system that is buried beneath the forests of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense and creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the hell we have walked into. I notice that Dennis seems confident, though. When we reach the large opening, we have to climb over the rails and up onto the platform. I have to help Dennis over the rails, then up the small utility ladder that is bolted into the opposite side of the travelway. When he reaches the large open area resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses on the floor and lets out a heaving breath. You know what? This is ridiculous. I quit. I'm not going any further. On top of worrying about my crew and the madness of wherever we are, I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. Get up, pull it together, or it's okay, take it easy. Why are we going to be hostile towards him? He's injured here. I should really be giving him a bit more of a break. I'm not the one with a gash in my side, I think to myself, so I decide to cut him some slack. Damn, boss, I'm sorry. It's okay. I don't know how you're still on your feet, if I'm being honest. Stubbornness, says with a weak laugh. Need a minute to rest, I ask, only as I can muster. No. If I sit down to rest, I'm afraid I might not get back up. I'll keep going while I can still go. I reach down, up on those feet, and we get ourselves up onto the platform. Right in front of us is an entrance to the long hallway, exiting the platform area. It's at this point that I realize those red emergency lights might be on for someone else who is actually supposed to be here. I'm good. Let's not yell out then. I'm still not sure if I want to alert anyone to the fact that there are strangers in this secret place. And the thought of hearing a scream, even my own, in this empty place is too much to bear. The emergency lights continue to flicker overhead, causing a sort of pinkish light on anything, or casting rather. My mind is racing with what sort of place this might be. It's obvious that it's meant to be secret. And if it is supposed to be secret, and there was a power outage recently, maybe most everyone has been evacuated. This thought does nothing to make me feel any better as we walk towards the platform exit. We step inside and it seems just as empty as every other place we've come through. Weakly illuminated by more overhead emergency lights. We are standing inside a hallway that looks surreal for a moment. This hallway reminds me of a hospital wing, but there's something not quite right about it. It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen since coming into the woods. It looks like it was recently in use, despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the walls, and the floor looks well cleaned, as do the walls. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small, flashing red light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. That ringing noise is an alarm. I say, if only to confirm my own thought. But for what? Dennis asks, and then he asks the question that has been on my mind since we fell in that hole. What the hell is this place? The exchange I looked at speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hallway and hear a sound like a large metallic grinding. This is followed by a clicking noise, and then the unmistakable noise of a generator kicking on. Without warning, the facility jolts to life. The red glow of the emergency lights is suddenly replaced by bright white fluorescent ones. That mechanical hum is oddly comforting. Suddenly, or somehow, the power being back on urges us back on. It's then that I notice that the ringing noise has stopped. So it had been an alarm, but for what? Just a power failure? We head down the hallway, the electric hum of the lights sounding eerie overhead. Other than that, this place is dead quiet. The hall is about 200 feet long, with two main doors. One door opens in a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and paper strewn about. Across the hallway, another door looks like a laboratory of some sort. Dennis slumps against the wall on the feet and lets out a scary sounding chuckle. Something funny, I ask, as a dark and brooding panic starts to grip me. I'm just gonna sit here while you look around. There's a look in his eyes that reminds me far too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. Well, what do you expect? He's injured and isn't exactly having a hard time. All the stuff going on here probably isn't going to make it any better. No, I'm going to enter the conference room, right? I feel like maybe we get info from there first. I don't know how useful the lab's going to be. We're a woodworker, right? So... A large table sits in the middle of the room, lined with a series of chairs. It looks like something straight out of a showroom. A well-used whiteboard hangs on the wall, and there's scattered papers on the desk. Let's look at the whiteboard on the wall. A few things scribbled on the whiteboard, mostly formulas and names. But there are a few things that are easy to understand, things that make my blood go cold. Subject number 6, cause of death. Embolism or aneurysm? Or both? Question mark. That's no good. Ideas for new delivery mode: spherical liquid? Question mark. Induced comatose state first. TerraCore Co. possible plutonium supplier. What the hell were they doing that they needed plutonium for? How much energy do they need for what they're doing here? Look at the papers on the table. Most of the papers and printouts have codes and equations that go way over my head. There are also handwritten notes that don't make me feel any better about our situation. I read through them and see scrawled notes that say things like, last experiment failed, overdose before transport, levels indicate cellular catabolism, question mark, question mark, question mark, more lead shielding in export suits, measurements make no sense, lead barks don't know about possible Higgs field fix. Outside in the hallway, I hear Dennis grunting. I head out of the room to see him still seated on the floor. But I don't get very far, because as I exit, a man comes rushing around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hand. Oh, well, this is gonna go well. Crap. May I have a sip of water real quick? Excuse me. It's hard to look beyond his rifle, but the man carrying it is young with messy, dark hair. His skin is so pale, I wonder if maybe he lives down here. He has the look of a guy who's been cooked up for a little too long. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy I'd trust with a gun in a stressful situation. As he's in the doorway, he screams and brings the gun up. It's aimed directly at my head. Hey man, you can't do that, but... He has a gun. Do I attack him here? I'm not gonna surrender to this guy. Screw that. Right away I go for the man. It isn't a fully, though. Oh, really? So my movements are slow. Our would-be captor clearly isn't expecting this. He jumps surprised, causing me to nearly fall to the floor. In the same instant, he pulls the trigger as an afterthought. There's only a dry click. The safety is on. This isn't right away. This is not a man who's accustomed to using a gun. I feel a little better about the situation. When it thumbs the safety off, that release is gone. Now, he seems even more dangerous. He looks from Dennis to me and then angles the gun closer to my head. Who are you, and how did you get here? The man asks harshly. Before we can answer, he continues speaking. I don't recognize you. If you're here, you would have had to sneak by the security mics in the entrance hall. What? I ask, unable to think of anything else to say. Who are you? Did you do this? The man eyes us both, and I see something in his eyes that unsettles me. He's scared, but there's something else. He isn't telling us the truth. We're just loggers. His eyes look distant for a minute, and then he says bullshit. But for some reason, I am pretty sure he knows I'm telling the truth. Someone knocked the power out. It's back on now, but if I was out long enough, well, we're in a heap of trouble. Was it you? Who sent you? Look, we don't know what you're talking about. Something happened out in the woods. Are you alone? Are there others with you? The young man asks, thrusting the gun in my face. How the hell did we get into this situation? If we hadn't fallen into that hole, we wouldn't be here. I'm not really sure if I want to be giving this kind of information. I don't know anything about him. Then again, he might have answers. We're looking for a crew. We have other crew members that we can't find. Your crew? Yeah, seeming confused. If this man thinks that we're nuts, there's no telling what he might do. The fact that he looks a little crazy himself makes the situation even hairier. But how'd you get in here? Point down the hall towards the subway. He came in that way. The doors were unlocked. The expression calms a bit, but I'm still very aware that of the gun that is leveled less than a foot away from my face. Put the gun down. You ask the man calmly to put his gun down. The only way I'm putting this rifle down is okay, so I won't be so patient next time. The only way I'm putting this rifle down is after I've blown your brains out. With that, he used the muzzle of the gun to flip my hard hat onto the floor. It's a childish move, a playground tactic at best, but sufficient to show me that he knows he's in control now. He then levels the rifle at Dennis, and I can only assume it's because as his wounds make him appear to be the weaker of us. The man takes a shaky step forward. Dennis looks back and forth between the barrel of the gun and me, his eyes begging for help. You step between the gun and Dennis. Before I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, I step out in front of Dennis. The barrel of the rifle is nearly touching my chest now. Both Dennis and the man seem a little confused at my action, and I do my best to swallow my fear. We don't know what's going on here, but we are here by mistake. You have no business here. Now that the power's on, I think you might be too late anyway. For what? He doesn't answer me. Instead, he takes a step forward and actually pushes me backwards with the end of his rifle. The man then repeats a question he asked before. Excuse me. One that makes no sense, and honestly makes me think he might be a little crazy. Who sent you? Those assholes from the Pentagon? I'm not sure how to take this question. Is this guy joking? Okay, I see the option, yeah, I'm the president. Obviously that's sarcasm, but no, what the hell are you talking about? I don't think this guy is joking, considering he just threatened me. No, I say, we're just loggers. Something blew up and my friend got hurt. We are looking for the rest of our crew. Likely story, he says, but I see a flicker of recognition in his face that makes me think he might believe me. Still, his grip on the gun is as tight as ever. The look on his face makes me think he'll shoot at any moment. You both just stand still. Sooner or later, someone will come along and I'll turn you over. Thrust the gun forward, as if it has an invisible bayonet on it. There's no need for that. I have no guarantee he won't pull the trigger. Look, we don't want any trouble. We're just as confused as you are. Then in a moment so fast, I just about miss it. He lunges forward. I have no idea how he's moving so fast. Just 30 seconds ago, I was worried about how close to death he looked. And now he's moving lightning fast, his left arm coming down on the barrel of the gun like a club. Like a motion, the man does pull the trigger. There's a booming noise. Oh, the booming noise is deafening, and there's a moment where I think I've been hit. It takes the clanging noise of the round tearing into the floor at my feet to help me realize I have not been shot. I look to the floor and see where the shot missed my right leg by less than 3 inches. I'm paralyzed and in shock for a moment as Dennis and the man fight over possession of the rifle. There's a fire extinguisher on the wall. I use the bludgeon, but I might not have enough time to grab it before Dennis is overpowered. Dennis has the man pinned to the floor, but isn't strong enough to keep him down. I fall on the floor to help. The barrel of the rifle swings in my face, a reminder of how close I'd come to being shot. On my knees now, I deliver a hard, stiff punch to the man's face. I don't punch someone often. Never really. I'm not usually the brawling type. Still, it is apparently effective. The man's head snaps back and his grip on the gun loosens. Dennis grabs the gun and falls to the floor, clearly winded and in pain. Our attackers are mobilized now, and I can feel a shift in the situation. Yet although he's basically harmless now, I still feel the need to pummel him. A desire that builds with each second I look at him. Well, he did threaten me. I'm still angry about that. I'm not sure where the anger comes from. Probably he's been buried under the panic and exhaustion. But it comes out in a series of punches, my fist flying as I kneel over him. My hand smashes into his nose, drawing blood. My left clips his lower lip, busting it. Roger, what are you doing? He's defenseless now. Somewhere in the flurry of punches, I bust open his right eyebrow. Not until I see the trails of crimson flowing and trickling down his face that I finally stop. I look to my fists as if I'd never seen them before. I'm slightly embarrassed that I was unable to stop myself. Dennis instantly hands the rifle over to me and I take out shaking hands. I still can't believe you stepped between me and that gun. He could have killed you. I was pretty sure he wouldn't, although I had known no such thing. Still, thanks, man. That was some heroic stuff. You would have done the same, right? He says nothing. His eyes look to the floor. I don't think you need to keep hitting him like that. He's probably right, but it was too much of a risk. What do we do now, boss? Come this far and I want answers. Since the dentist does too. Walk over and pick up my hard hat off the floor, the one that he knocked off. After placing it on my head, I turn towards the man. We get answers from this guy. No answers. He manages to whimper, his eyes fluttering. Blood is all over his head and neck from where I let loose on him. Okay, let's move. Say, pointing the gun further down the hallway. Come this far and I'm not going to let this guy stop us. We walk down the hallway until we come to the end. A single elevator waits for us. Its steel sliding doors larger than a normal elevator. I don't know. Maybe I should have taken it easy on him. I don't feel bad. If I recall correctly, he does actually hit you if you don't, I think from the Markiplier video I saw back in, I think, 2016. I believe it was then. But he does hit you if you don't stop him. So I'd rather shut him down anyway. And also he threatened me. I don't like that. Before I get in the elevator with this guy, I think... Oop. Okay. Before I get in the elevator with this guy, I think it's wise to learn a bit more about him. I could tell it's making him uncomfortable for me to have the gun. What's your name? Marcus. You work here. It's clear he doesn't want to answer, but he gives us a little nod. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Any idea where they might be? No, he says curtly, not bothering to elaborate. There's got to be some useful info we can get out of this guy. Just need to know how to dig for him. I need a first aid kit for my friend here. Where might I find one? Down on the second floor. We can't go down there. We're going down there, okay? You send me like an idiot. You must be aware you're inside a classified government facility. No. Why would I know that? Brother, we're loggers who got into an accident. I don't know what to tell you. Well, I'm sure the government wants you to help save my friend, so take me to the first aid kit. I can't You don't have clearance? Hell, I barely have clearance. Seeming to himself, he mutters, I make this place run. Not even a thank you. It's a bunch of restricted access rooms that I'm only allowed to go into with a friggin' chaperone. I interrupt this monologue. We're going to get that first aid kit. I could lose my job. He says, squinting through the blood where I bashed him over and over. Wonder for a moment what sort of trouble I could get him for hitting a government employee, especially as hard as I did. I don't feel bad for him. Then again, he had come at us with a rifle. It makes you think that things have gone terribly wrong in this place. An explosion in the woods, whatever the hell had happened, might be linked to it all. I need to convince him to take us to the second floor, but I'm not sure if it would seem... Well, I doubt he's gonna sympathize with me after I beat him up. So I might as well just be evil. Let's sort of tool's head. I don't know if I have it in me to pull the trigger. I have no problem holding it there. Your job or your life. If I say harshly, hoping those extra hits earlier will make him think I'm serious. He looks at me sternly, weighing his options. This is a felony. Yeah, and assaulting people with a rifle is also a felony. So you could do with that as you wish. But I can tell he's not going to fight me anymore. Good. Now take us to the second level. With an untrusting stare, he walks over to the elevator door, approaching a small keypad by the doors. He punches in a numerical code on the keypad, and we can hear a slight mechanical hum behind the steel doors. A few seconds of angry glances and frightened sneers from Marcus. The elevator arrives. Angry glances from me or from Dennis? Or both? It's alright. The elevator arrives, the steel doors slide open with a whisper, revealing the interior. It's exceptionally well lit and looks to be made of stainless steel. I have expected the thing to take off at the speed of light. There's another small keypad in the front right panel by the door with the options for the 3 sub-level floors. Looks like this elevator doesn't go to the surface. Damn it! So after we get a first aid kit for Dennis, how do we get out of here? Can't leave. Once the power came back on, the whole place was put on lockdown. What? Can't you override it? No, it's to prevent anything from getting out. I can't. Looks as deflated as Dennis. Can't get out, we're stuck here. Dennis leans into a corner and almost falls to the floor. The struggle for the rifle took a lot out of him. You can see that much in his face. Slowly we start to move down the hum and grind of the car's motors fill the space. What can you do? He bristles at the question, but I think it's fair. I mean, he's not allowed to unlock the doors or even get medical supplies. Why keep a guy around who can't even grab a band-aid without permission? Without me, nothing would get done here. These people think they're so brilliant, but some of them can barely turn their computers on without help. Top quarter of my class at MIT, and I'm stuck living underground helping idiots who don't even trust me with keys. How big is this place? What goes on here? How big is this place? It's a government facility of the highest secrecy. A research facility. It goes 4 stories underground, and quite frankly, it scares the piss out of me that you two got in here so easily. Why is that? This is a black ops graveyard. Even the CIA doesn't know it exists. So what's your job? I do the IT work and make sure the databases are up and running. 24/7 job. I haven't seen sunlight in almost a year. I wonder what staying in a place like this for that long would do to someone's mind. I was recruited because of the workload. No one else wants this job. I don't really mind being by myself. No family. Plus, the IT and some crazy shit. Crazy how? This place generates over 100, terabytes of data. If you don't know, a terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes, so that is a lot of data. He answers, getting him the slightest bit excited before his face falls again. So what happened here? What knocked the lights out? What happened here? Seemed like some sort of power outage. That's all I know. There was an outage, and then what? Things got weird. Things got bad. Bad how? The whole place seemed to shake when the lights went out. I was checking the monitors when it happened, and everything went dead. It took no more than a minute or so before I started hearing the screams. People were being killed by something. I tried getting the security cameras going again, but they only lasted for a little bit on my backup systems. What I saw... What? I asked, feeling a sharp fear worm its way into my guts. Well, what I saw on the screens for that little bit of time made no sense. It made me get the gun from the emergency vault. I think whatever it is still down there. Hold on. Is the emergency vault a rifle in the same room as security cameras in this place? Give me a grin that looks nearly insane. There are guns locked away in every room in this place, just in case, you know? Of what? You getting jumped? So we're still in danger here? As he opened his mouth to answer, the elevator comes to a stop and the doors slide open. Marcus is out right away without a word. He makes his exit and heads directly for a classroom room that is full of computer monitors and high-end equipment. Dennis and I file up behind him, trying to keep up. As we do, one very alarming question runs through my head. What the hell kind of government facility keeps loaded guns in emergency vaults in every single room? End of chapter 2. Alrighty. Let's see, here are my choices. Curiosity. I obeyed the warning sign and stayed away from the glow. Selflessness. I stepped in front of Dennis to protect him from Marcus. Mercy. I kept hitting Marcus after he surrendered. No, he didn't surrender. What are you trying to tell me? I mean, he didn't surrender, but he was forced to. He didn't have a gun anymore. What do you mean surrender? Whatever. Like I said, I'm gonna continue trying to pace my videos better than I used to. So, as always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay smart, stay safe, everyone, and I will see you all next time. Bye now.